Good evening. We will start this evening the way that we do every monthly meeting with an introduction. I'm Mark Keller, reside on Horton Avenue.
Robert Spengler, Bonner Street.
Rachel Booth, Park Drive.
Abby Reed Hickory.
Cheryl Gromeyer, November Wayne Antiques, Wayne Avenue.
Carolyn Mann, Adams Street.
Jeff Peterson, Park.
Ian Cannon, Alberta Street.
Marjorie Darrow, Oak Street. Sorry, David.
David is running Bonner Street.
Eric, Wayne Avenue.
Linda Dodd, Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office. Elizabeth Watsky, Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office.
Yes, welcome. Let's have a update from the prosecutor's office.
Really, I don't think we've had much going on. Last month I talked to you about a Ben Brewer who was coming up for parole, who used to kind of live in this neighborhood. He'd been in a murder from a crime that happened on 5th Street in a bar about 27 years ago. He was granted parole today, so I think technically close to St. Anne's Hill in their community, but if I pitched pretty hard to keep him out of both this neighborhood and that neighborhood when I was up there, because he was a name that years ago when I came was a name that came up. He also has a son by the same name who was a candidate for Sturgis to this community and St. Anne's. So I'm hoping that perhaps after we pitch today, they will think about some public living rent things. Perhaps he has connections in Kentucky. I encourage people to go out of state if they can. So if I find out where his parole is, he's set to be released September 23rd. If I get a date on him, I'll bring in his information so you know you can keep an eye on him. At least you know who it is that might be coming nearby. But that's it for us. Was there anything else we could be talking about?
Did you say September 20th?
September 23rd.
Okay.
So, and I was being asked a question about like people showing up. 333 cops is always the best number for date to get. That's their non-emergency line. It is a recorded line though, and they do respond. The more you call in, the more they can generate resources to the area. That's one of the lines they keep the stats on where cops are needed. So, all right. As always, my email is doddl@mcohio.org, so you don't have to wait till the next meeting to get a hold of us.
Very good.
Thank you.
No
Thank
meeting
you.
in August.
Have a nice evening.
Man. Oh, yes. I'll link that stuff. That's Thursday.
All right, it looks like meetings for, over the minutes rather, for the June meeting were posted. If there's no objection to that, let's move to approve those meetings. Motion, any objection?
You have copies?
We have been posting them online, just for expedience sake, as well as trying to save paper. So they will remain there, so you can go back and look and backdate
On the
that
website.
way. Right.
Okay.
And there's a video now. Most of them.
Okay.
Most of them. Without any objection to that, we'll go ahead and approve the June minutes. Moving to committee updates. Jeff from Crime Prevention.
Very short, I would echo one of the things I've always preached here is if there's a problem and you need the police to come out or something just doesn't feel right, it's 333 cops. It's important to call. She is absolutely correct. Manpower allocations for the Dayton Police Department are made by the number of calls for service within districts. So that's a key item. Very quickly on the gazebo, which has drawn some attention of late, with the homeless, collection of trash and drug paraphernalia, etc. It's been brought to the attention of East Patrol Operations, who have started some enforcement activity. Seems like that when the enforcement activity starts, the problems stop. But they're well aware of it, and I think here in the next several weeks, we'll see some significant improvement. They are working under a zero tolerance arrest situation, so if we're having problems with offenses, there'll be some arrests made out of Gazebo. So I think we've seen, there's some activity there in the last week, and I think we've seen some improvement. So again, if you're driving, if you live at that end of park, and you see something that doesn't look quite right, there's a congregation of people there, they're noisier than you'd like, there's nothing wrong with just calling the police department and saying, there's a congregation of people here, they're noisier than I'd like, and ask an officer to come by. So don't be bashful. It's call. Squeaky wheel gets grease, and if we call, we'll get it resolved.
I would absolutely mirror the sentiments of Jeff. Again, being in the prosecutor's office, the more we report, the more that they will show up. And again, the people that are causing problems, just takes a few times for the police to interact with them, and they will move elsewhere. They don't want to be under added scrutiny. So again, you see people in the alleyways, you see people that don't belong. There's nothing improper saying, hey, this person looks out of sort. In fact, there was a theft earlier this week of a bicycle. 2 bicycles were stolen from a garage, and luckily the neighbor had cameras, and through some investigation and due diligence on his own part, was at least able to recover one of the bicycles. So again, looking out for your neighbors, looking out for the street. There's lots of activity in the neighborhood, but if people look like they don't belong, it's completely okay to phone that in. If they're supposed to be there and they're working or doing something proper, they'll continue, and it's not a big deal.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are the grocery carts outlawed for homeless to be picking up things in the alley?
So grocery carts typically are the property of the respective grocery stores.
That's what I said.
So if they're out and about and you see them in your property or a neighbor, if you call, if it's oftentimes they're marked, if it's a Kroger store, if you call them, they will come pick them
No,
up.
I don't mean empty ones.
Well, I
I'm saying
understand, but
people
if it's a-
using them.
It's got to be marked.
If you can identify, yeah,
If it says Kroger on it, you can call Kroger
and they'll come pick it
and
up.
they'll send
You
somebody.
call the police.
Yeah, but there's somebody there putting
I
things.
understand.
Call the
But
police.
again,
Call the police
So they had,
and say,
somebody told me that
someone has
they're
stolen.
allowed to have it.
No,
And I said, I don't think so.
just call
That's
the
what I wanted to question, whether they changed that.
And again, I'm going to backtrack just a hair. You don't have to live at that end of the park, to call about the gazebo. If you're driving by, you're heading to Kroger, and there's a congregation there or a group there that doesn't look quite right, it's okay to just call in and say, hey, we're having problems with the gazebo, there's a group of folks here right now, it doesn't look quite right. So all the responsibility and onus does not fall on the folks at the end of the park.
Absolutely correct. I have started taking up evening bike rides and walking. I will intentionally go by to note on the way home to or from work, from the neighborhood. I will intentionally drive by, even though I don't live on that side of the neighborhood, just to see. So, eyes and ears are great. We're the first line of defense to report and let the rest of the community, police included, know what's happening. So, if you see something, say something. I think that's enough for gazebo. Regarding housing, notice that Tony continues to be out on a regular basis, at least on a weekly basis in the neighborhood. I have seen some citations being posted and issued to properties. Again, we have lots of new neighbors. If new neighbors have questions about historical guidelines or what's expected, certainly feel free to share the information with them. They can contact us, they can get a blue book, or reach out to Rachel Benwitz downtown.
Is he still citing people with weed problems?
So not necessarily weeds, but overall lawn care, so excessive grass.
Well, I'll tell you, they can cite all of Wayne Avenue right now, practically. No weeds on the other side of the street or overgrowth, but it's all on the west side of the street, and it really looks bad.
Family
fix all that. But they have been doing, they have a new manager, and they have been doing a good job, but there's a lot of other offenders.
So,
And it's really bad, all on the west side of the street.
so again, those can be noted on the date and delivery app, or reporting that. You can report specific properties, or you can contact Mr. Oppie directly via phone or his email, and he will make note of that and go out and investigate. He
What
does
is
that.
it?
I will give that to you after the meeting. As it relates to Dollar General, that seems to be an issue as well in the neighborhood. So again, through efforts of Jeff and Jill at Parks, they have cut the electrical outlet that's frequently been used in the neighborhood for transients to power their phones. So hopefully that will continue to make that corner of the neighborhood less attractive for people that are wanting to camp out. Likewise, they have had homeless people and vagrants loitering in the lot after hours and camping in the lot of dumpster. So that was recently cleaned out by Dayton police officers after we directed that to their attention. That said, it looks like we have another visitor from DPD force. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah,
and,
I apologize for my tardiness.
No, not your problem.
There was an accident out there at Wayne, Wyoming that happened literally right in front of me. So, I'm Officer Brandon Bunch. I am now assigned this neighborhood meeting. Eric Miller was doing it, I believe, before. He has since went to day watch, and so this is my meeting to attend. I have the stats at the district. I can email those to whoever I need to email them to. I apologize for not bringing those. Like I said, it kind of happened all at once out here. So, any concerns, questions, anything like that, I can write down my email address. You guys can email me directly.
Yeah, that's perfect. What is your email?
It's Brandon, BRANDON, dot Bunch, BUNCH, at DaytonOhio.gov.
So welcome. Thank you for attending. And you probably caught the tail end of it as you're walking in. Probably on some of the issues and concerns that we've had on the gazebo in the park area with some vagrants and homelessness and associated criminal activity as it relates to that.
Yeah, I know that I got an email about the gazebo, I want to say maybe a week or two ago. And it sounds like that it's a more of an at-night thing. Is that correct? Okay, because we were working a little earlier, and I had checked on it probably 5 or 6 times throughout the day and hadn't found anybody. When I say earlier, I mean early afternoon kind of thing. And then I had our midnight crew check on it later in the evening, and they found several people there, maybe before midnight or so, and several of them had warrants. So they took care of that, and the guy told them to disperse at that point. I don't know if it's still an issue. I haven't heard anything since then. That was probably 4-ish days ago.
So at this point, it appears to be an ongoing issue, has been the last, say, month or so.
Okay.
And we've had this systematically as weather breaks, et cetera. So if you guys can continue to keep sort of effort there. We have some properties along Wayne Avenue as well, for where people have been congregating to drink across from Sunoco there. So keep particular attention to there, and then I will email you a list. We have some vacant, still have some vacant houses in the neighborhood that appears to have squatters or people living on the porch.
Oh, yeah,
So we'll get you those addresses up when you guys are
Yep.
out driving around and bored, give you something to do.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. We're out every day. I mean, we have a vehicle that we use for stuff like that, all that good stuff. So feel free to send me any and all concerns that you have. Yes.
So see, the vagrants, it sounds like the vagrants that are in the gazebo, they're also using the land behind Dollar General. There's that grassy area. I guess on the 4th, they had a really nice cookout. So, but they have a tendency between those two, like the gazebo and that grass area.
Do we know like where they come from, or is it just kind of homeless people? Kind of?
Yeah, please be.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people sleeping there a couple, once a couple, in particular, appear to be sleeping there every evening.
Okay.
At least off and on, or pretty consistently.
All right.
But, yeah, sometimes there's a crowd of people. So we've recovered, or our Parks Department people have found, people using the restroom there, recovering drug paraphernalia, syringes, et cetera. So,
And then I know there was like a bicycle theft issue, which we had made an arrest, from what I understand, with that particular person. He is unfortunately out, back out, but we know who he is. We're very familiar with who he is. I also have the neighborhood near Xenia Avenue, Twin Towers, so I knew that individual from that neighborhood. And then when I saw the email that he was down here, I was like, oh, I don't know. So it kind of worked out. But yeah, we knew who he was immediately, like I said. We recovered 1 or 2 bicycles, I believe. So I don't know if that's still an issue. But that was last week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. So
perfect. Very good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We'll
I'll stay. Yeah, I can stay. Yeah.
The gazebo talk, we probably covered that, including parks for Jill. Jill's not here this evening. She's actually at the gazebo and doing some trimming there. So again, continued thanks for her efforts. Nick is not here for block captain, so nothing to report there. We had PPD a couple weeks ago. That went well. I think another one is planned, but I don't have the date or location for that yet.
That is up in the air.
Okay, so we'll figure that out. We'll make sure we put postings out. Anything from marketing to report?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Israeli, the floor
So-
is yours.
So if you've noticed, the dog poop bag stations now have their own signs that are neighborhood specific. They're a little more entertaining than the standard ones. We're working on the newsletter. There's a lot of stuff to go in it, and a lot of people have a lot of ideas. The slight problem is we don't really have a budget to print what we're designing. So what we're designing at this point is a 6-page trifold, 8.5 by 11, that folds in thirds. And to print 1,000 of those is going to be a little more than what we've spent in the past. Jill and I haven't had a chance to go over it, but I know we have a grant for part of it, because one page has to be about the recycling program in the city, and so we've lost a page to that. But I think it'll be a nice marketing piece / neighborhood awareness piece, because it's covering a lot of things that we haven't talked about to the neighborhood en masse. And it'll have some positive news about things that have happened in terms of home rehab, sales, etc., and as well as informing people about the Blue Book, historic zoning, where the neighborhood boundaries are, this sort of things, the basic stuff that we should reiterate over and over. So we are working on that, but I don't know, I think the printing bill is going to be about $450. So I don't know if we need a motion now to get that approved. At this point, I think I'm designing this thing and writing it for free, but I'm not that worried, because I know that it helps the whole neighborhood. And last but not least, the website, we know it's bad, we know we've got work to do on it, and that's coming up next. And I just found out that I'm supposed to be doing the MailChimp thing, which I don't know if I have the logins for, so we'll look into that.
I can get you that thing.
That'd be great. All right. So it should be starting to revise soon and be a little more user-friendly and a little simpler to navigate. So that's coming up. And it should have some of the newsletter content too. We've been posting the minutes, complete with the video. Bobby sends me a Word doc, I post them, and then I have the video, boom, so you can see what happened at the meeting, who was here, what was said. We haven't got a lot of views, but if you subscribe, you can subscribe and get an email every time we post on the blog, on the website. So if you go look there, there's a way to subscribe to posts on the site. And we'll have to get that out in the newsletter too.
What's the URL for that?
HistoricSouthPark.org. And if anybody wants to contribute anything to the newsletter or wants to write articles for the site, feel free to reach out. We've updated most of the block captain emails and everything else, and we've worked out a solution on that. But there were some old aliases and things that were screwed up. I think that's been straightened out. And right now, all the safety stuff goes to you, I think, and we've made some progress. Thank you.
Very good, thanks, David. I think we'll, if there's no objection, we will not seek a motion yet. We'll wait till you and Jill have an opportunity to confer, figure out what final cost will be.
Okay.
And then meeting in September, look to get that approved.
I don't know how we're going to print it before then, if it's ready though.
We'll coordinate.
Okay.
Any reports from the board? Yes, there was. Unless you would like to. All right. There has been a mini grant that has been approved for preservation date. And it's pretty interesting because they're putting together a program or redoing a program they've done in the past as it relates for the various historic neighborhoods. So that said, they have previously identified certain properties within the neighborhood and unique architectural or historical features or details of the home or the historical persons that may have been of prominence in the respective neighborhoods. So they're asking for people to contribute if interested as it relates to their specific properties or stories they may have as related to their property. So if anyone is interested in working on that, some neighbors have expressed some interest already. If that's something you'd like to learn more about and potentially contribute, please see me and we'll get you that information and we'll get that to them in time.
Just so you know, I have an old brochure from actually all the different neighborhoods. It used to be a walking tour. It was a little pamphlet that identified a half a dozen homes that either had architectural interest or historic interest because of who lived there. And so PDI is essentially redoing this and putting it online so that anybody can see it. You don't have to have the physical old pamphlet.
Is that for South Park only or for the whole city?
No, it's for all the 13
Okay.
historic districts. Yep.
The original set was published in the 90s, and they were tall, narrow, one for each historic district. I think there were 7 at the time. We have the complete set at our house.
I have most of them.
So if you're interested in participating in that, certainly let us know. I don't believe we have any outstanding old business. We'll move to new business, anything requiring a vote from the membership. We don't have anything scheduled or
To
planned.
clarify, we voted last month to skip the August meeting, correct?
That is correct. I was going to make that announcement. So there is not a meeting in August. So the next general membership will be September 24th. That said, do we have any other announcements, questions, public comments, concern?
Couple of things. Regarding the gazebo and other related matters, as someone who walks and runs the neighborhood all the time, lots of needles and other drug paraphernalia around the neighborhood. I've just observed from my walking and running. It's around the open space. where
So
the-
let me not interrupt you, but I am. So prior to you coming in, we had some pretty lengthy conversations about that. So we as a neighborhood, as concerned neighbors, individual neighbors, very aware of that problem. So we have the attention of Dayton's finest and took some notes and talked specifically about that problem. So I think we've seen a marked increase in patrols for that, including some undercover work, and I think that is going to continue for the foreseeable future until that problem fades itself.
And
One of
again,
the officers came in after I got here, so I would just like to continue my report from the scene. Buckeye by the school, all kinds of paraphernalia there. Around the gazebo in that area, of course, some. And around the open space where the South Park urban farm is, there too. So just in the whole neighborhood, those are some pronounced areas of whatever's going on, for what it's worth, from my observation.
Very good, thank you.
I got a couple other items. The Fairgrounds project is coming along, and in fact, there will be a meeting on August 1st at UD to review the latest goings on. And originally, we had Amy Lee and someone else representing South Park. Are they still representing this organization?
That is my understanding. They will not relinquish their positions on those respective boards. I've not received any updates.
All right, well, that was why I was just inquiring, this last meeting I was at, they were not there. They've not heard anything, have not seen anything, and just wondered whether they were still representing South Park.
We will confirm that.
Yeah, there's a meeting August 1st at UD. It's kind of the latest update on where they're going. Of course, they've done a lot organizationally. They have a new director, a new board of directors, and all kinds of people working on it. It's obviously a tremendous impact on our neighborhood, and I hope that South Park will continue to be involved. You know, it's been a while, so you kind of like lose contact with it, and I hope we don't.
Is it a public meeting, and if so, do you have a time and specific location?
It's August 1st at UD. I think it's kind of an invitational thing,
Oh, okay.
but I would assume that the South Park people would be on that list
So it would be the people who were supposed to be
representing us.
Gotcha, okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Very good, thank you.
So, just a little while ago, South Park Urban Drinkers, you don't have to actually drink, decided to do an end of summer celebration. It's going to be Thursday, August 8th at Coco's, starting at 7.
Any other announcements or questions for anyone? Again.
Shakespeare in South Park is not doing Shakespeare, but is doing Moliere's Tartuffe, September 6, 7, and 8. We'd be delighted for anyone who would like to help build a set. Rehearsals start on Monday.
What's that play called?
Tartuffe. It's a French Restoration comedy written in 1664, and it's very, very funny.
What time did rehearsal start?
What time?
Yeah.
6:30.
David, did you have?
Yeah, Twin Towers is having their huge street party August 10th from 10:30 to 3 p.m. They have free food, they have activities, they've got inflatable bouncy house and obstacle course. They're going to have all kinds of stuff going on, and they're actually closing part of Xenia Avenue off for the first time. So that's something new for them. And besides the fact that we now have yet another coffee shop nearby, we're also furthering ourselves as the mecca of pizza, because now Rapid Fire is going into the old Casanos. I did a little thing on my blog a long time ago, and we've got like something like 20 independent pizza places within a mile and a half of South Park, not including the major chains. Now, I guess you could say that Rapid Fire is becoming a major chain, but it's insane how many pizza options we have living here in South Park. So, you know, it's not about neighbors becoming friends, it's about pizza,
It's about feeding them.
you know, basically a different pizza place every night for a month.
To that end, same development, a UPS store is going in along Warren as well. So based on that, looks like.
Different development, because Casanos moved in. to
Right,
that one.
further down,
Right.
yeah, next to the new.
This one's, the Rapid Fire is going into the old Casanos.
Over here.
So they're moving into like the bottom of the apartment.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyone else? That said, no other announcements or question or commentary. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So made.
Second. Thank you.